it's something that this is the 3 days that I won't be able to root for them, because anytime that I have an opportunity, I watch them, I root for them because, I mean, they're like, some of them are my good friends, and I think it's going to be a fun 3-game series here.
Albert Pujols talking before the game, addressing the media, not only the Southern California media, but those coming from St. Louis as well, and there was a throng of them as well. A lot of cameras in attendance. You see Jared Weaver and the Angels have already taken the field, and we will take a look at Mike Matheny's starting 9 for the St. Louis Cardinals. Second place at the start of the day in the National League Central Division, 2 games back with a 49-32 record. They will have Matt Carpenter leading things off at second base. Yadier Molina jumps up to the 2 spot. They had a lineup change as Matt Holliday was scratched due to a stiff neck, so Yadier will bat second. Carlos Beltran is in right field. Alan Craig in left field. Matt Adams at first base. David Freese, the designated hitter. John Jay in center. Daniel Descalso will be the third baseman, and Pete Cosma will be the shortstop, and he will bat ninth. Facing Jared Weaver, who comes in with a 1-4 mark, a 4.15 ERA, but had a very good outing against the Detroit Tigers on that road trip.
He mixed the match very well. His fastball velocity, not necessarily overpowering, but he spotted it well. His changeup, curveball, very good. Interleague play, 13-4 for Jared Weaver. Throws the ball very well against the National League.
Ninth start of the year for Jared, and see if he can continue what he started against the Tigers, in which he went 7 innings, gave up 1 run, 4 hits in 7 innings of work, 6 strikeouts and 2 walks against a very good offensive unit. And this St. Louis Cardinals team is a very good offensive unit. The first one tonight is just outside for ball 1. Matt Carpenter, the second baseman, hitting .322 in the National League this year. 7 home runs, 32 runs batted in. At .322 batting average, good for 5th overall in the National League. That one's a little bit high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, Carpenter with some extra base capabilities leading off for this club, as 37 extra base hits this season.
2-0, that is in there. 2-1. It's a team that doesn't run a whole lot, 15th in the National League in stolen bases, but you look up and down their lineup, a lot of guys with RBIs, the power potential there, the extra base potential as well. Callaspo playing in over at third base. 2-1 in their first strike, 2-2. Cardinals first in the National League in batting average, 8th in runs scored, 1st in on base percentage, 2nd in slugging. And they've pitched well too, extremely well. 2-2. This one grounded to the right side. Trumbo to the backhand has it, feeds Weaver, and there is out number 1. Let's check out the Angels defensively tonight. J.B. Shuck is in left field. Mike Trout is in center. Josh Hamilton in right. The infield consists of Alberto Callaspo, Eric Ibar, Howie Kendrick, and Mark Trumbo from third to first, and Chris Inett is behind the plate.
And Jared Weaver, generally a fly ball type pitcher. Mike Trout might have one of those magical games in center field. It was funny when he came out and he saw all the media talking to Pujols. He goes, this feels like a playoff game. So that energy level even higher from Mike Trout in center field here tonight.
Yeah, vote totals being announced today as far as the updating of the vote totals, and now leads all American League outfielders with 4.82 plus million votes as Molina swings to the first pitch, and that's something Cardinals have been accustomed to, and Trumbo can't handle the throw. Molina broke towards second, so there's a play, but Trumbo does not flip it to Iannetta. A routine play, should have been the second out, and Callaspo lazily threw that ball to first base, and Trumbo unable to get it. So Callaspo with his 10th error of the year.
Well, that's one thing you don't want to do, is give extra outs to this Cardinal lineup. They can swing the bat so well, even with 2 outs, especially with runners in scoring position. It's a low throw, and Trumbo unable to dig it out. But if they think quickly on that play, they have a chance of getting Molina, as he made that turn, that commitment towards second.
Sure did, and he knew it. He hustled back to the bag. So a man on the error. Here's Carlos Beltran. Beltran originally slated to be the designated hitter tonight, but now getting to start in right field. 308 average, 19 home runs and 50 runs batted in. Now 36 years of age. One ball, one strike. Beltran in his first year last year with St. Louis, 32 home runs, 97 runs batted in, hit .269 for the Cards.
With Beltran 2 for 3 in his career versus Weaver with 2 home runs.
Missed in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Just underway here. Carpenter with a ground out. Molina reaching on the air by Callaspo. Weaver will check in on him.
St. Louis doesn't do a whole lot of running. It's 19 stolen bases, been caught 10 times.
In the air, shallow right field. Howie Kendrick drifting out. Eric Ibar as well. Josh Hamilton takes charge and makes the catch for out number 2. That ball was up there a long time.
And good communication right away by Josh Hamilton, calling that ball right away. It's a difficult task going back on the ball for Kendrick and even Ibar. Much easier play for Hamilton coming in, who's been playing a solid right field.
So 2 outs, Molina still at first, and here's Alan Craig. Craig hitting .318 this year with 9 home runs, 63 runs batted in, 63 RBIs. Second in the National League. Paul Goldschmidt, the Arizona Diamondbacks, leads that category, the first baseman. Look at his strike.
We always wonder with Craig, the way he holds his hands, like a lot of movement, how he'd be able to handle a good fastball inside. But he is super quick on that ball in the inner half. Holds his hands down, a lot of movement.
Just missed off the plate to even the count. Craig, a product of Chaparral High School in Temecula, went to Cal. 8th round pick of 2006 as he lifts this one out to right field, playable for Hamilton. Josh is under it. Makes the catch. The inning comes to an end. We will head to the bottom of the first. Chuck Trout at Pujols. That's right, Albert Pujols facing his former mates. With no score when we return. Starting 9 as Weaver had to face 4 batters because of that error by Alberto Callaspo. The Halos on a 6-game winning streak right now. Still 3rd place in the West. 9 games back in the start of the day. 39-43 is their record. J.B. Shuck is down in left field. Mike Trout at center. Pujols at DH tonight. Josh Hamilton in right. Howie Kendrick at second. Mark Trumbo drops down in the order. He's at first base. Alberto Callaspo at third. Chris Iannetta is doing the catching. And it's Eric Ibar batting 9th and playing shortstop. Taking on Lance Lynn, who comes into this one with a 10-2 mark and a 3.52 ERA.
Lance Lynn, fastball 90-95. Throws about 76% of his pitches are fastballs. Slider, curveball, changeup. Likes to keep the fastball down around knee level. A lot of ground balls. Has only allowed 5 home runs in nearly 100 innings pitched this season.
J.B. Shuck ready to lead things off against Lynn. J.B. hitting .288, 10 doubles, 1 triple, 19 runs batted in as he looks at his strike. Mentioned the start of the show that Peter Borges placed on the 15-day disabled list. JB's done a nice job filling in for him. Did so when Peter was on the DL with that hamstring injury. This one's lined towards center field, and that's a base hit. Leadoff man is on board. Check out the Cardinals defensively behind third tonight. It's Craig, Jay, and Beltran in the outfield from left to right. Descalso, Cosmo, Carpenter, and Adams from third to first. Molina behind the plate.
Well, it's a very good defensive club, leading the National League in the best at the catching position. Yadier Molina, 5-time Gold Glove winner, has thrown out over 40% of would-be base stealers. Very difficult to steal against him. More of a hit-and-run situation if you're going to be successful moving base to base against this Cardinal club.
Quick throw to first, and Shuck is back in there. Trout hitting .315, 13 home runs, 52 runs batted in. For 23 on the road trip through Detroit and Houston. 3 doubles, a home run, and 6 RBIs. That one is down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Lynn with 99 and 2/3 innings under his belt this year, 78 hits, 98 strikeouts, 38 walks. 18-game winner a year ago. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Well, you can see that fastball pretty consistent, 92, 93, and occasionally 95, but generally right at the knees, both sides of the plate. He's been pretty good the last couple of seasons. 28 wins. Max Scherzer and Lance Lynn. Very consistent for 2 straight years.
Lynn just 26 years of age. That's a roller off the foot of Trout. So it appears anyways. The last to call it a foul ball was the home plate umpire, Todd Titchener. As Trout started hobbling up that first base line. Mike had the day off on Sunday. He'd been dealing a little soreness in his hamstring.
Look, it got him right on the top of the foot. Just above the foot in the low part of the shin area. You can imagine Lynn's going to throw another 2-seam fastball in that part of the plate again.
The off day he had on Sunday, the first of the year. He played in every game up until Sunday.
Yeah, Mike Scioscia was able to rest Howie Kendrick, Mark Trumbo, and Mike Trout on that successful road trip. All 3 had played in every single game during the season so far.
Now the 1-2. Missed outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lynn now 26 years of age, product of the University of Mississippi. Supplemental first-round pick in 2008. A lot of homegrown kids on this team for the St. Louis Cardinals. Off the plate.
It's a pretty good indication how good Molina is behind the plate. That pitch was about a baseball or 2 off the corner, but he's so quick bringing it back and framing the pitch to give the home plate umpire a better view. Extremely quiet, soft hands behind the plate.
J.B. Shuck over at first, reached on the single. See if he's on the move here, perhaps with Trout at the plate. Pujols on deck. J.B. goes, the 3-2's looped out towards center. Jay is there, he'll make the grab. Shuck has to hustle back to first base, and he was back there safely. So there's the first out here in the bottom of the first, and here comes Albert Pujols. Pujols. Albert had a tough road trip, 4 for 26 through Detroit and Houston. 249 batting average, 13 home runs, and 49 RBIs on the year. Pretty much answered all the questions that was asked of him before the game, as Shuck is back in safely at first.
And a nice smile that whole time, too, because there were some questions that were presented to Pujols. There were difficult ones.
Foul back. 0-1 count.
Pretty good swing at that first pitch fastball from Lynn.
Well, everyone knows that St. Louis, you having played 4 hours down the road in Kansas City, is an incredible baseball town. They love their Redbirds. And Albert Pujols was one of their icons, and more than likely will always be one of their icons. So certainly a sour taste left when he departed as a free agent prior to last year.
St. Louis, you know, we're determined at that point to be able to spend money differently. They've been drafting so well as far as good power arms. We're going to see one again tomorrow night also in Shelby Miller. Did a good job with their farm system. Very difficult to keep a player like Pujols around at that point of his career.
2 balls and 1 strike.
There's no question they still love him in St. Louis. What he did brought him 2 world championships. 3-time MVP.
Certainly wasn't from a lack of effort, that's for sure. The Cardinals put their best foot forward. At least they believe that, as Albert fouls this one back, evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And at the end of the day, the player and management always makes a decision on what's the best interest of the individual or the team in this case.
And when you're the Angels, you get an opportunity to sign the premier player in all of baseball. You have to leap at that opportunity, and that's what the Angels did.
Quick throw to first. No score, bottom of the first. Chuck over at first base. Pujols with a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Lynn has only allowed 1 stolen base, 3 attempts. He does have 1 pickoff, 2 career pickoffs for Lynn. Very quick move to first base.
It's off the plate, full count. Well, Lynn keeps trying to get that outside corner going, but Todd Titchener is not going to, at least here in the early going, has not expanded the strike zone.
And some counts have been worked very well. We saw that on the road trip. Seeing some pitches, not swinging at pitcher's pitches. That's why it was a successful road trip.
Chuck takes off, 3-2. It's a swing and a miss. The throw down to second, and Chuck is out at second. You strike him out, throw him out, double play, and the first is in the books. 1 complete here at the Big A, and we are scoreless. Looked like J.B. Chuck going to do a little swim move action.
Yeah, from this angle, we both thought that he got his hand in there. Clearly by that camera angle, he got his hand in there, touched the base before the tag was applied. Good slide by J.B. Shuck, but still called out. Molina, another throw out at second base. One of the best arms you'll ever see. Most complete catcher in the game.
Matt Adams about it. He takes outside. It'll be Adams, Freeze, and Jay here in the second against Jared Weaver. These 4 batters in the first. Adams, the first baseman, hitting .316, 6 home runs, 20 runs batted in as he pulls this one over to Trumbo on the line. And there is out number 1. Let's take a look at the standings in the American League West, brought to you by Kia. I mentioned the Angels at the start of the day. 9 games back. Texas taking on Seattle. Oakland a half game back. Seattle 13, then Houston. Seattle, by the way, leading Texas currently 9-1. That game in the 7th inning. Oakland hosting the Cubs. As that pitch is upstairs. The Angels will see the Cubs next week. 2-game series at Wrigley Field, Tuesday and Wednesday night.
It's always fun to be able to go to Wrigley Field.
It's always fun walking up those ramps to that little closet of a booth.
Yeah, it's so much room in there.
Oh. 2 night games too. Last time we were there was all 3
all
day
3
games,
day
right?
games, yes. You know, that great storm that one night, right after the game ended.
2-0 to Freeze. He's lifted foul and out of play on the right side. 2 balls and a strike. Freeze slated to play third base tonight, but serving as a DH with Holiday being scratched. 277 on the year. Has 10 doubles, 1 triple, 5 home runs, and 27 runs batted in. Tap foul, and it's 2-2 now.
Boy, did he have a postseason back in 2011. Became a hero and one of the best World Series we've seen in a long time.
LCS and World Series MVP. And even though he grew up in the card system, he was originally a Padre. Breaking pitches down low. Full count now. He went to St. Louis in the Jim Edmonds deal prior to the 08 season. Three-2 on the way. This one's out to center field. That's going to fall in for a hit. So a 1-out knock for David Freese. Puts a man on for the Cardinals, and John Jay, the center fielder, stepping up. Let's take a look at our AT&T Twitter poll question of the series. Which was your favorite World Series Game 6 home run? Joe Carter's in '93. Scott Spezio's here in 2002. David Freese in 2011. Send us a tweet at Fox Sports West. We'll give you a running total of the the votes a little bit later on in the game.
When they were all so important, Joe Carter ended the World Series. Spezio allowed the Angels to come back in an improbable comeback against the Giants in Game 6, eventually winning Game 7.
It's good to see Scott Spezio last year when their 10th anniversary of that World Championship season, coming out of the seats in right field.
Exactly. That was right where he hit that home run.
He was gassed when he got to his chair near the pitching mound, though.
The flip-flops didn't help him out getting in.
1 ball, no strikes on John Jay. 244 this year, 4 home runs, 33 RBIs. Our second round pick out of the University of Miami. Rolled over to first. Trumbo fires to second. They get the force out. Relay back to first. In time, a double play.
Great job by Trumbo.
3-6-3 goes the Twin. Killing will head to the bottom of the second, scoreless. A key to the game for today.
Going with the Sultans of Swing, little dire straits. Middle part of the lineup. Pujols against his former mates. And Josh Hamilton, the way he was swinging the bat on the road. The patience, the looking for pitches away, and driving the ball to left center field.
Josh Hamilton leading things off, followed by Howie Kendrick and Mark Trumbo as the first one is outside. Hamilton's got the batting average up to 223. 10 home runs, 29 runs batted in as he swings through that fastball. He was up the count at 1-1. Josh had a solid road trip, 9 for 21, 3 doubles, 4 RBIs, scored 7 runs, made some pretty incredible defensive plays in Houston. This one shot to the left side, and that's through for a base hit, and that's kind of what we saw on that road trip.
Yeah, and his ability is to let the baseball travel, his hands quiet through the baseball, and a lot of confidence to see if he can let that ball get deeper in the zone and hit the ball hard that way. That's a great pitch from Lynn, but a better swing from Hamilton. Little two-seam fastball running away. Still got the good part of the bat on it because he's not moving. Open up the front hips. Shoulders stayed level. Head did too. And then ground ball in the hole.
Halos had their leadoff man on in the first inning. Didn't do anything with him. Hamilton is on board now for Howie Kendrick. First one's a strike. Howie a .317 batting average. 9 home runs. 38 runs batted in.
And the more Josh hits the ball that way, eventually pitchers are going to try to sneak something inside, and that's when he turns on a baseball and hits it out.
This was pulled on the left side, and that's a base hit. Hamilton advances to second, so back-to-back knocks for the Angels here to start the second inning.
And Lynn is going to be downstairs with his fastball consistently, so you're going to see a lot of ground balls. That one found a hole also. Sinker in the inner half, but Howie's so quick. So many hits of late, up the middle to right center field, but he also has that ability to get the hands through the baseball and drive it in the hole between short and third.
That's his 100th hit of the season for Howie Kendrick, the top 10 in that category. 2 on, nobody out. Mark Trumbo at the plate. First one's up and away. Trumbo batting down in the 6th spot tonight. 251 batting average, has 18 home runs, 51 driven home. Mark 5 for 23 on the road trip. A little 3-game hitting streak going now. This one's looped out towards center field. That's going to get down for a hit, and that will score a run. Kendrick rounds second. He'll head to third, and the Angels have a 1-0 lead.
I was talking to Mark Trumbo before the game about Lance Lynn. He said he faced him a number of times in the minor leagues. He said he's going to get a lot of fastballs, and that one was up. Jammed him, but most flares into the outfield are elevated pitches, and that was an elevated fastball. And Trumbo's so strong, still able to fight that into the outfield for a base hit and an RBI, giving him 52 RBIs, tied with Mike Trout for that lead for the Angels.
So the Angels with 3 straight hits to start the second, have runners at the corners, nobody out, and Kayaspa at the plate. Cayaspo hitting .268, 4 home runs, 30 runs batted in. Looks at his strike. Lynn right at you. Just comes right down that mound, that slope. Big guy, 6'5", listed at 240. Good stuff, good movement on his pitches. Working from the stretch with Kendrick at third and Trumbo at first.
He's got a real good fastball, but I think as a hitter, what you have to try to do against him, once he drops his elbow enough, that is an opportunity for that fastball to be elevated, and that's the one you attack. Starting at the knees is going to be very difficult to make contact. Saw what he threw with Pujols, that two-seamer down and in against him.
Cayaspo fouls it off to the left.
See if Cayaspo can get right back when he was on that good hit streak. Kept his hands quieter and level and threw the baseball. When he gets underneath in that loop swing, that's those fly balls to left, fly ball to short. See, more compact and drive the ball.
Outfield playing shallow for St. Louis. One, two down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. All new to the Angels. Now one guy in the major leagues anyway has faced Lance Lynn in the big leagues. You mentioned Mark Trumbo down in the minors. Now the 2-2 breaking ball. And a full count.
Full counts already in this game for Lance Lynn. 3 of them, as a matter of fact. Good patience. We mentioned that in the opening. Patience at the plate of late for Angel hitters.
Trumbo takes off. The 3-2's bounce to the left side. That's going to sneak through for a hit. Trumbo will stay at second. 2-0 Angels. Cayaspo with an RBI single.
Just putting the ball in play. Not trying to do too much. A base hit rewarded with a base hit RBI for Cayaspo with the movement. And Mike Scioscia did that a lot on this past road trip. Had a lot of action with base runners going 3-2. Trumbo going forces that gap between short and third. It ends up being a base hit instead of a potential double play ball.
So first and second, still nobody out. Chris Iannetta the batter. Eric Ibar on deck.
Good decision by Trumbo not to go to third. Once he didn't pick up where that baseball was, you don't just go, you stay there.
And mentioned the outfielders playing shallow as Iannetta looks at a strike. .214 batting average for Iannetta. 6 home runs, 26 RBIs. Got the start in Saturday's game. 1 for 4, and that was a 2-run home run for him. One ball, 1 strike. Good crowd, still filling it here at the ballpark.
A lot of excitement about this series.
First time the Cardinals have ever made a visit here at the Big A. Breaking pitch, and that's popped up. Adams, the first baseman in the foul territory, makes the grab. 1 out. Hey folks, on July 27th, Corona Light presents Kenny Chesney's No Shoes Nation Tour, starring Kenny Chesney, Eric Church, Eli Young Band, and Casey Musgraves. Suite rentals are now on sale. To reserve your suite, visit angels.com/Chesney today.
It's a pretty good concert working.
So Iannetta is the first out here, the second. That'll bring up Eric Ibar. Eric starting to get hot, taking the batting average up to .284, 3 home runs, 31 runs batted in, 8 for 19 on the road trip. takes a strike.
He had 33 hits in the month of June. 8 RBI in that last road trip.
Big home run, too. 2-run shot against Jose Alvarez against the Tigers.
And a couple big hits with the bases loaded back-to-back against Houston.
Trumbo at second, Callaspo at first. 0-1. That's line to center. A base hit. Trumbo is going to be waved in. Here comes the throw from John Jay. It is offline and unable to be cut by Adams. And the Angels lead us now 3-0.
And Ibar continues to swing the bat well. Great approach up the middle. Base hit. Another RBI. Well, you got to like this swing right here from Ibar. Again, got the fastball up from Lynn. If it's down around the knees, very difficult to elevate and hit it hard. That was probably the hardest hit of this inning, and Eric Ibar provides that with an RBI. Aggressive base running, maybe caught a break there, but Adams unable to field that throw in from the outfield. They will press the issue against John Jay as far as arm strength. Beltran's got a very good, accurate arm in right field. Alan Craig's solid arm in left.
It's like Jay cut that throw a little bit as a left-handed thrower, and it just kind of kept running away from Adams. If he comes up with it, they might have a play on Callaspo at third.
And when you're facing a guy like Lance Lynn, who's had his issues in interleague play, 1 and 2 mark with an ERA well over 4, you're going to try to be more aggressive. But if he's cutting that off as a play at third, and all of a sudden that big inning potential goes away.
Second and third, 1 out. Corner infielders are in. Middle infielders are back against J.B. Shuck, who looks at a breaking pitch outside. RBI for Ibar, his 32nd. Shuck had a single in the first, so he's 1 for 1. Five hits here in the second inning for the Angels. 6 overall in the game.
Well, after a lot of fastballs from Lynn, starts Shuck off with a curveball, then a changeup.
This one's back toward the middle, and Lynn just misses it. Nice play by the second baseman Carpenter to keep it on the infield. It is a 4-0 Angels lead.
Pretty good read by Callaspo to come home and score on that ball also rather easily, and Ibar to advance to third. So you got good speed at the corners with Ibar at third and Shuck at first, and Mike Trout at the plate. Sometimes these baseballs fool you as a pitcher. You think it's hit harder, you react thinking get the glove up there right away because you hear the sound. Might have broke his bat, so he had his glove up there quickly, but then unable to make the play.
It's almost like a butterfly with trying to catch it with a net. It'll go as a single and an RBI.
After you release the baseball, that sound, you're thinking, I better be quick, and his glove was up there quick, and then all of a sudden the baseball wasn't there yet.
Here's Trout. Takes the breaking pitch down low. 8th man to bat here the second. Mike hit a fly ball to center field in the first. 4-0 Angels here in the second. 1 out. Eric Ibar, the base runner, at third. Shuck at first. Lynn's coming off a loss his last time out against Houston. 4 runs, 5 hits, and 7 2/3. Won his 2 previous starts. Back toward the middle. Carpenter's there, bobbles it for a second, throws the first, safe at first. 5-0 Angels.
As an infielder, speed makes you do things more quickly than you are normally going to make that play. This Carpenter tried to be quick to get to the base, realized he's got to step on the base and be super quick to throw Trout out. Then unable to hold on to the baseball. Not only does not get Trout, this doesn't get J.B. Shuck at second. Trout will get an RBI, but now it's been put down as an error on Carpenter, but he does get an RBI.
Here's Albert. Takes the breaking ball for a strike. '53rd RBI of the year for Trout. Albert struck out in the first inning. It was a strike him out, throw him out, double play to end the first. So he's 0 for 1. Still 1 out. Fouls this one off to the right. Adams will give it a look, but it's into the seats. 0-2 count.
Most home runs with the Cardinals. Stan the Man, all-time leader, 475. Pujols just behind him, 445. Ken Boyer, 255, and Jim Edmonds with 241, who we saw earlier during batting practice, walking around meeting and greeting some former teammates with the Angels and the Cardinals.
1-2. 26th pitch of the inning for Lance Lynn. Good speed on the bases with J.B. Shuck at second, Trout at first. The error, by the way, on Carpenter, his 8th of the year. Just the 34th for St. Louis. The 1-2 off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He continues to try to throw that fastball off the outside corner, or trying to run it back and catch the corner.
Two. Swing and a miss. 2 outs. It's that same pitch that he got in the first inning. Down and in underneath the hands. That'll bring up Hamilton.
We've seen pitchers a lot of late throw that fastball down and in underneath the hands of Albert Pujols. We saw it at home by Rivera for the Yankees to finish off that game on 3 pitches. Same exact spot. Pujols generally tries to get that bat head out, make good connection, and keep it fair down the left field line, but unable to do so there.
So 2 outs, Hamilton at the plate. He's the one that got this party started with a base hit. Leading off this inning. Came around to score the first of 5 so far here in this second.
That's a pretty good swing too with a fastball.
Cardinals do not move around a whole lot defensively as far as shifting on guys, at least that we've seen now through the first time through the order. Descalso at third base off the line. Adams deep at first. 0-1 pitch. 0-2. A little mislocation there that was just in enough on the hands.
I just like the way Hamilton's hands appear going through the baseball right now.
Still wearing that wrist guard on the right wrist. And he swings and misses on the breaking ball. He will concede the strikeout, and the inning comes to an end, but not before the Angels score 5 on 6 hits, 2 in the books. Angels on top. Not a whole lot of baseballs squared up or driven into the alley. All singles for the Angels, but they made them count.
Well, we said that when we talked about Lance Lynn as a guy that's going to keep that fastball down. Very difficult to elevate. He has allowed 5 home runs in over 100 innings pitched. So you have to base hit him. They certainly did that with 6 of them in the second inning.
Descalso, a .274 average this year. Big rip. Fouls it back. 1-2 now. 3 home runs, 23 RBIs. 3rd round pick in 07. And UC Davis. Mountain View, California native. 1-2 on the way. This one's popped up. Third base side should be playable for Callaspo. 1 away.
Well, we're going to get you updated as the game progresses on our Carl's Jr. Sports Update around Major League Baseball. The Price is Right. David Price back for the Tampa Bay Rays, was dominant in his performance. And Homer Bailey throws another no-no. That's 2 no-hitters for Homer Bailey back-to-back seasons. 9 innings, just 1 walk, 9 punch-outs. 109 pitches made during that gem. Almost perfection.
So the last guy to throw a no-hitter last year, and the
first guy to throw one this year. We've seen a number of pitchers get close this season, but Homer Bailey.
This one down the line, Long run in for Hamilton, and toward the foul line he goes, crosses into foul territory. 2 outs. 2 fly ball out for Weaver here to strike the third. Back to the top of the order we go, and Matt Carpenter. We touched on it a little bit with Josh Hamilton, and even through April and May when it was going rough for Josh. No letdown whatsoever defensively for him. Never saw him carry it out to the field. You look at his errors. Okay, he's got 5 errors, but how many of those? I think it's 3 or 4 of those on ball checking up or charging a baseball, hits off the end of his glove.
Yeah, sometimes you'll get that as an outfielder when you're aggressive, but it's still, that's what you want to see as a manager and or a pitcher. You want to see your outfielder aggressively coming in on the baseball. So there's been a couple of errors made that certainly weren't from lack of hustle, and he made some outstanding plays in Houston. Joe Blanton certainly thanked him. Picking up his 2nd win of the season. Great plays at the wall, robbing would-be home runs by Josh Hamilton.
This one down the left field line, slicing toward the seats, and it's a 1-ball 2-strike count on Carpenter, the second baseman, who grounded out his first time up. Two base runners for the Cards. The error by Callaspo. The ball that Molina hit in the first inning, and then the single by Freese with 1 out of the second. This one pulled and past Trumbo down the line, headed toward the corner. Carpenter's on his way to second. Hamilton plays the carom cleanly, gets it back in, and Carpenter on board with his 24th double of the year. It comes with 2 outs here in the third.
Extra base machine, Matt Carpenter. 7 home runs, 24 doubles, 7 triples. Gets this one by Mark Trumbo, a slider that stayed up in the strike zone and by him down the line, almost able to make the play.
Man in scoring position for the first time, and Yadier Molina, the catcher, steps in 0 for 1. Leading the National League in hitting with a .345 batting average at the start of the day. The first one's lifted in the air to right. Hamilton over a couple of steps. And the inning comes to an end. No runs, a hit, 1 left on. We will head to the bottom of the third with the Angels leading at 5-0.
Throws out the first pitch to Albert Pujols. Good pitch too. Had some cut action on that 4-seam fastball. A lot of smiles there. What a moment.
And before the game, the Angels during batting practice were wearing the Stan Musial patch.
What an unbelievable human being he was. Great baseball player. We all know that. But if you got a chance to talk to him, great man.
Yep. Howie Kendrick, Mark Trumbo, and Alberto Callaspo here in the bottom of the third. Lance Lynn on the bump. 3 strikeouts for him. No walks, 7 hits allowed. Howie had a knock and a run scored in the second. So the count is now even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Dropped down a little bit.
And slider, and he still was on that, Howie.
Breaking pitch down the line. That is just foul. Bill Miller, the third base umpire, with the call. Nice effort by Descalso, the third baseman.
Well, that was real close to going over the base. Get a good view here. Ground ball right down the line. Off the chalk, and then on the other side of the base, good call by Bill Miller. Right there to be able to make that call.
This one's looped out toward right center field. Beltran and Jay, and that falls in there. Second hit of the game for Howie. And the Angels in all 3 innings so far tonight have gotten their leadoff man on.
And Carlos Beltran plays an extremely deep right field. At one point in his career, a very good Gold Glover in center field, but those knees not quite as quick as it used to be for Carlos Beltran. Plays a little bit deeper, still a strong throwing arm, very accurate. It has to play a little bit deeper to offset that lack of speed he once had at one point.
How frustrating is that as a pitcher? With you start looking at now the 8 hits, nothing's been smoked.
Yeah, there might be a few things thrown around in the clubhouse at some point after a while, but eventually, when you start making, eventually you're going to overthrow a ball, and that's going to be your result. You're going to make a mistake, and somebody's going to crush one at some point, and Trumbo nearly did that one.
Mark had a single with an RBI and a run scored in the second. Gets jammed on the fastball. 0-2 count. Not a very big lead for Kendrick at first. Trumbo chases the breaking ball. 1 out.
Pretty sharp slider from Lynn on that one. 4th strikeout of the game. Creates a little different arm angle for a slider, but it's a sharp, true slider. A lot of times you'll hear slurve or big break to a slider, but that's a true slider. Not much of a break, but late action at the very end.
One out, 1 on. Callaspo the batter. He got the count to 3-2 in his first plate appearance, and then singled through the hole on the left side, picked up an RBI. 31st run batted in for Alberto. Long look in for Lynn. 0-1. Lance got to the big leagues for the first time with the Cardinals in 2011. Mostly out of the bullpen. 18 games, 2 starts. 1-1 mark, a 3.12 ERA. And last year, 35 games, 29 starts, 18-7 and a 3.78. 180 strikeouts for him last year.
Done a tremendous job developing arms through their system. Power arms.
This a bouncer back to the mound. He fires to second. Cosmo, the shortstop, turns the double play. And the Angels are done here in the 3rd. 3 complete, 5-0 Angels.
Jared Weaver, 13-4 in interleague play. Justin Verlander, 20-2. Mark Burley, 27-9. The 3 best in Major League history with 20 or more starts.
First one to Beltran is cut on and missed on the breaking ball. Cardinals sending up 3, 4, and 5. The Angels on top 5-0 here in the 4th. Carlos hit a fly ball to right field in the first inning, so he's 0 for 1. Pulled over to first. Trumbo's got it. Waves off Weaver. 1 out. And this summer, the Angels and Denny's are partnering with local libraries to encourage students to take part in the Rally Readers program to promote reading among children. Kids 5 to 13 are eligible to become members and can be registered to win great prizes. For more info and to register your child, visit angels.com/community.
Well read on that one, Victor.
You like that?
Yes.
I took it home and I studied.
Yes, you did.
Didn't want to butcher the Rally Readers program read. Gotta say that one.
That. No, thank you.
Here's Alan Craig. What's the strike?
89 on that fastball from Weaver. We've seen some 88-mile-an-hour fastballs from Weave so far.
Craig 0 for 1. Fly ball to right field. His first time up. One ball, 1 strike. No strikeouts, no walks. 2 hits allowed for Jared. Cardinals coming into the Big A. Lost 2 of 3 to Oakland over the weekend. They had the off day here in Southern California yesterday. They've played well all season long. 27-16 out on the road this year. Chasing the high fastball even to count.
Well, that's something if you're Weaver, you can remember later on in the game that Craig will chase upstairs. Especially we're not familiar with a lot of these hitters if you're Weaver. So you remember that at certain points of the game where you can exploit a hitter who will chase something out of the strike zone.
Here's the 2-2. Ground ball back up the middle, knocked down and slowed by Weaver. It goes near the bag. Kendrick can't come up with it. Infield base hit for Allen Craig.
A difficult play too for Howie. It's running right at the base after it was deflected off the glove from Weaver. With no chance to be able to make that play. You wonder if that ball got through cleanly anyhow. Howie might have been in position to backhand that baseball, but a change of direction at the base. Good effort though by Howie.
Matt Adams, the batter. He's the first baseman. Takes outside. Adams lined out softly to Trumbo to lead off the second. He's 0 for 1. 24-year-old, 6 home runs, 20 RBIs this year. 23rd round pick, 2009. Out of Slippery Rock University. He's a PA guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania.
Trying to think where Phillips.
You're not quite sure?
No.
There's the 1-1. This one's hooked down a line. That's headed for extra bases. Grounding second and heading to third as Craig Hamilton picks it up cleanly and will get it back in. Craig will have to stop at third. So a double for Adams puts 2 on with 1 out here. David Freese coming up.
That's one thing about this Cardinal club. Very dangerous lineup 1 through 9, especially here in interleague play. Can utilize the DH. That pitch was elevated. And Adams turns on his 8th double of the season. Nice job by Hamilton getting in quickly.
David Freese out of base hit in the second inning, so he's 1 for 1.
With this Cardinal club with less than 2 outs with runners in scoring position, 349 batting average.
This one bounced over to third. Callaspo wanted to come home, but he'll take the out at first. It's 5-1 Angels as Freese picks up an RBI.
It looked like Alberto couldn't quite get the handle of the baseball. At that point, you take it out.
Adams stays at second base.
And Craig going on contact. You can see right there that Alberto thought about it, but then couldn't get the handle of the baseball and takes the out at first.
2 outs, men at second. Here's John Jay, the center fielder. Off speed pitch in for a strike. By the way, I did some research here. Phillipsburg is kind of north of Altoona.
So basically Ohio then, right?
And where's your cutoff?
Harrisburg.
Harrisburg is your cut. Well, then, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much 3/4 of the state.
Well, there's Philadelphia, then every other
and then
city.
everything else,
yes.
right? Okay. Now I know.
Yes.
That's where Matt Adams is from. It's a big guy.
Yeah, he wouldn't be a guy that you want to be in position to try to block the plate against, that's for sure.
No. Sweep tag is just fine by me. 0-2 to Jay. Breaking ball is low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Angels with 5 runs in the second inning. The Cardinals have struck for 1 here in the 4th. Halos have 8, 9, and 1 coming up at the bottom of the inning. Iannetta, Ibar, and Shuck. One, two. That hit him.
He tried that no-seam fastball to start at the hip to bring back to the inside corner, but it stayed true and hit Jay. It's the 4th batter that Weaver has hit this season. In the back of the leg.
Now Mike Butcher's going to come out. 50 pitches for Weaver. Daniel Descalso, the 3rd baseman, coming up. 31 strikes for Weaver. 2 hits allowed here in the 4th inning. A single by Craig, the double by Adams, and then Freeze with the RBI groundout. Todd Titchener going out there to break up the meeting.
They're the ones that bug you as a pitcher, because you have Jay in a position where you can try to make him chase something out of the strike zone. Got to hit 0-2, then try to bounce a breaking ball, then try to freeze him with a fastball in. Instead, he hits him, and you put another base runner on the bases now.
The Angels do overshift on Descalso. Although Ibar now moving back towards short. He was originally behind the bag at second. This one's fouled off to the left. Descalso popped out to Kayaspo in foul territory, leading off the 3rd, so he's 0 for 1. .227 average last year.
There, Jarrett was motioning to Iannetta that he thought he dropped his elbow. Even though the velocity was good at 89, his elbow dropped down. He wants to stay on top with his delivery.
This is a broken bat bouncer over to Ibar. Goes to Kendrick, and they force out just barely John Jay at second base. Let's head to the bottom of the 4th. Cardinals get on the board. The Angels on top 5-1. The Kia retailers at MySoCalKia.com. Boy, gorgeous shot of Southern California. The Big A is where we are at. First of 6 here at home. 3 against the Cards, 3 against the Red Sox. The Angels leading this one 5-1. As we start the bottom of the 4th inning, Chris Iannetta, Eric Ibar, and J.B. Shuck to face Lance Lynn. Iannetta fouls off the first one. It's an 0-1 count. Chris popped out into foul territory in the second inning. 0 for 1 tonight.
It'd be good to see the offense get back on a roll, scoring those 5 runs in the second. But this Cardinal club can score runs right back at you, so you got to think in terms of pressing the issue still.
Check swing foul. 0-2. Game in Texas is a final. 9-2. Seattle defeats the Rangers. Oakland now trailing Oakland 5-3. That game's in the 4th.
But Raul Ibanez, his 20th home run for Seattle tonight.
He's got an outside chance of 40 home runs.
Boy, he basically didn't play a ton for the Yankees until the end of the season. He came up with some memorable home runs. Postseason, get him there.
2 balls, 2 strikes. He's a guy that Seattle, that obviously signed him to be a veteran guy. They thought they had revamped the offense a little bit. Could potentially be a trade chip for Seattle.
But for me, at this point, the way he's playing is a good influence on the rest of the young players. Especially, they're starting to bring up more and more young players for Seattle.
Iannetta strikes out swinging on the breaking pitch. There's the first down here in the 4th. 4th punch out for Lynn.
See Seattle that next road trip. We go to Wrigley Field for 2. Safeco for 3, and then the All-Star break.
2 weeks from today, it counts.
No question.
All-Star game at Citi Field. As a matter of fact, the unveiling of the All-Star roster is going to be on Fox on Saturday coming up. Derek Ibar with an RBI single and a run scored. Swings through the first one. He lost the handle of the bat. The top hand came flying off. 0-1 count.
Well, Eric's been having some real good swings of late. And an RBI single in the second inning. 32 RBI this season for Eric Ibar, including 8 on the past road trip. 6-game trip, 8 RBI.
One. This was lined to second. 2 outs.
Well, here's tonight's Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. Speaking of Mike Buffini's Cardinals, their first visit to Angel Stadium. Cardinals are the last National League club to play at Angel Stadium. You know, interleague play started back in 1997. The Cold Hard Fact is brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light.
Crazy it's taken that long. J.B. Shuck takes inside. He's 2 for 2 with an RBI.
See how many people here at the stadium here tonight with the anticipation of the Cardinals coming into town. A lot of fans here.
Bouncer over to first. Adams has it. Runs over the bag. Goes back. Touches it. A 1-2-3 inning for Lynn. First time he's done that tonight. We're through 4. The Angels still on top. Will receive an exclusive Trout Farm shirt with their purchase. For more information and to purchase your tickets, just log on at angels.com/groups. Jared Weaver back to work here in the 5th inning with the Angels up by the score of 5-1. Cosma, Carpenter, and Molina. 9-1-2 for St. Louis. Cosma hit a fly ball to right field in the 3rd inning. 0 for 1. He'll look at a strike. Cosma, former first-round pick, 11th overall back in 2007. Played most of last year at AAA, and then Rafi Furcal got hurt. Cosma got called up.
Well, he just got hot. Man, he had some big hits down the stretch.
333 for the Cards, 2 home runs, 14 RBIs to end the year, and then, of course, a very good postseason. Jared falls behind here, 2 balls and 1 strike. This one's fouled back right above us. Evens a count at 2-2. Cardinals with a run on 4 hits, 1 error. They've left 4 on base. The Angels 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. The Halos have left 2 on base. 2-2 pitch. It's off the end of the bat, rolled foul. Good change up there from Weaver. Another 2-2 in the air. First base shot headed toward the seats behind the dugout.
There's a battle here.
He lays off a tough pitch, full count.
Well, that was pretty close to a strike. Pretty good slider from Weaver. I think I've noticed from this Cardinal lineup, they swing at almost every fastball, no matter where it is, but they lay off breaking pitches, whether it's this curveball or slider. They're aggressive. There's no question about that. They're up there swinging early in the count.
Another 3-2. Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch, and there's out number 1. First strikeout of the night for Jared.
Real good off-speed pitch here. Looked like he snapped a little curveball over. 81-mile-an-hour pitch out in front. It's a great angle. You can see how far out in front his hip opened up. Couldn't make contact with the curveball.
Matt Carpenter at the plate. He doubled the last time up. 24th double of the year. 1 for 2 tonight. In the bottom of the fourth, we were talking about the Cardinals making their first ever visit here to the big game. A couple of those types of series throughout Major League Baseball. I mentioned 97, the first time interleague play, and it's kind of strange that it's taken so long with the way 14 teams, 16 team leagues, the mix and match of just the regular interleague series. This is one of those series, first time ever. Cubs at the Athletics right now. Second through the fourth. The Rays will be at the Dodgers for the first time ever. That's coming up in August. And then still one left to be played. The Padres visiting Toronto. Check swing foul. The count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Although the A's did host the Cubs in the 1910 and 1929 World Series when the Coliseum was first built.
In that same desk that we worked
yes.
on, definitely.
That carpet has not been changed since.
It's a beautiful facility.
Why wouldn't you have carpet? There's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boy, I hope that franchise, that city, figure it out and get a new ballpark built. If it's not in Oakland, let it be San Jose or wherever. 2-2. Breaking pitch, looped down the line, tailing away and towards the seats.
Boy, after that slow curveball from Weaver, that one is 73. You would think go upstairs with a fastball now.
And folks might be sitting at home sitting going 88 miles per hour. Why are these guys late on 88 miles per hour?
It's because his changeup and curveball are so effective. 73 miles an hour. His changeup's around 76, but he has touched 91.
Off speed. Bounced over to Trumbo. 2 outs. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP.
I know Jared's really was looking forward to this opportunity to pitch against the Cardinals. He remembers back in 2007 when his brother was on that Cardinal club that won the World Series. Loved that experience going there to St. Louis and watching that. Now an opportunity to be able to beat them here tonight.
Molina looks at a breaking pitch for a strike. Molina's 0 for 2. Reached on an error by Kayaspo in the first at the fly to right in the third. Beltran on deck. 5-1 Angels here in the 5th. Bouncer back toward the middle. That's into center field. A 2-out knock.
That ground ball up the middle seemed to surprise Jared. He's done a tremendous job as far as working on his fielding when he first came up. Because of the way he throws the baseball, difficult to be in fielding position, but he's worked hard. Very good as far as his quick move to first, but fielding his position also. It's right back up the middle.
Oh, 1 count on Carlos Beltran. 0 for 2. A fly to right and a ground ball to first.
Certainly one thing I'm happy that Jerry didn't do, reach up there with his bare hand, the pitching hand, and try to field that ball once he was falling towards first.
I was just going to ask you about that night in Arlington when he went down on that liner. Swing and a miss. 90 miles per hour. 0-2 now. If after something like that happens, that was a freak thing. He lost his balance, fell down, broke his elbow. Does that make you gun shy?
No question. No question about it.
No matter, regardless of how good a fielder you are.
Because you realize that how quick the baseball comes back at you. We've talked a lot about hit speed off the bat and how quickly it can come off the bat. 100 miles an hour. And your reaction time when you follow through, you're 50 feet away. So anything hit up the middle. We saw it with Lance Lynn earlier, that ball that was jammed by J.B. Shuck. His reaction was that ball's coming back quickly, but it wasn't at that point.
That bat shatters and splinters everywhere as he hit that curveball off the end of the bat and it goes foul.
See a bat shatter like that too much. Breaking ball.
That happened. I think that happens more often. See the end of the bat. There's one of those cupped balance bats. It's kind of. I don't know how to explain it for you, but it's kind of hollowed out there at the top of the barrel. There's the 1-2. Missed inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
A real good view. Mentioned that cup, so it is hollow at the end, and he certainly got that off the end of the bat on the curveball because he was out in front. That was by design by Weaver.
Swing and a miss on the changeup. That's that Bugs Bunny changeup as Weaver picks up his first couple of strikeouts. Up at the bottom of the 5th, 5-1 Halos. Five strikeouts, no walks, 8 hits allowed by Lynn, 65 pitches. Had a very long second inning, but he's calmed down since then. He's faced a minimum 3 batters in the other 3 innings, courtesy of a couple of double play balls. Did have a 1-2-3 frame in the 4th. Trout 0 for 2, a fly ball to center, and reached on the error by Carpenter, the second baseman, but also picked up an RBI, his 53rd of the year on that play. Two balls and no strikes.
We're judging from that slider from Lynn. That must be the baseball that gets squared up more so than his fastball. He gets underneath that pitch and it flattens out and goes a big part of the bat.
3-0. And Chris Ionetta, if I remember correctly, going back to that second inning at bat, took one and then swung at another, and that's the one he popped out. It was kind of a little bit of a hanging breaking ball.
Yeah, that's a pitch that I think that Lynn, as I recall, I've seen some games from it too. That's a mistake pitch he will throw on occasion. Because this fastball, very good movement, well located. The slider is his mistake pitch.
Three-1. Takes a strike, full count. May have been the case where Trout might have been looking for that 3-1 slider.
That fastball's right down the middle. And he's shaking his head like, yeah, I just missed that one.
And he got him with a high fastball after getting ahead 3-0. Strikeout number 6 for Lynn. 1 out here in the 5th. We'll go back and revisit the Hyundai key to the game.
Songs of swing about the importance of Pujols and Hamilton. Albert so far unsuccessful getting that bat head out on that two-seam fastball down and in. But Hamilton keyed that second inning, getting a base hit. Continues to see the ball well, even though he struck out his last at bat. Had some pretty good swings against him.
Breaking pitch, misses in. Albert 0 for 2 with a couple of punch outs. Bounces this one foul.
It's a hanging breaker ball there, but Pujols out in front. Still aware of that two-seam fastball in that Lynn has got him twice with.
Albert ahead of the count now. Yeah, as much as you watch games on TV and you see guys, that, especially in the other league, that you don't see often, you kind of take away a little something of what you expect out of him. Boy, and Lynn, first time I get to see him live, This guy's fun to watch. I mean, everything is down in the zone for the most part with that fastball.
And it will use both sides of the plate. He's trying to get you out like most pitchers will try to do on a fastball away, but he does throw a very good two-seam fastball down and in against right-handed batters, in a way against lefties. That tough second inning as far as his pitch count, pretty manageable. The last 3 innings is 10 pitches each in the last 3 innings for him.
2-2. Lays off the breaking pitch. And the first 2 at-bats.
I'm surprised he went with a slider there. I got to believe he's got to be going that two-seam fastball now down and in. Getting a little two-seam grip on the baseball there also.
And he walked him. First walk of the ball game for either side. Comes to Albert Pujols here in the 5th. Hamilton will step to the plate. Would you consider the approach that Lynn takes kind of a throwback, an old school approach? And here's my fastball.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Remember we were talking with Dennis Martinez on Sunday, and the philosophy for the Baltimore Orioles back in the day when they had all those 20-game winners, dominant pitching staffs, was fastball, 4-seam fastballs away at the knees. Live there until a hitter makes an adjustment. And you just live at that spot. Then you look out. Then you can throw that two-seam underneath the hand like he did to Pujols twice. That's it. Very effective. Still the most effective pitch, a fastball, especially located at the knees away, both against a right-handed batter and a left-handed batter.
1 ball, 1 strike. Hamilton 1 for 2, a single through the left side of the second inning, and he struck out on the second. Both of those at-bats happening in that second inning. Adams playing behind, or pardon me, in front of Pujols at first base. In the air to left. That's playable for Craig. 2 outs.
Again, that same approach, trying to drive the ball that way, which is the right approach for Hamilton. Eventually, like I said, pitchers will start throwing fastballs in, sliders, hard sliders in. That's when you're going to see him drive the ball at the right center field to right field.
Howie's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. Fouled off to the right.
Beltran has moved in a step or 2 now in the right field, seeing the approach that Howie has to that way.
Taking a couple of steps towards the foul line as well. Seen some teams play that type of a defensive alignment against Kendrick. One and one now.
Especially when you see Lynn throwing sliders, fastballs away to Howie. First at bat, Howie got a base hit on a fastball in. He was able to tuck his hands in to get that ground ball in the hole between short and third.
He went around the breaking ball. One ball, 2 strikes on Kendrick. 5-1 Angels here at the bottom of the 5th. But he's been finding that outside corner the entire game.
He hasn't quite been as crisp with his fastball away. He hasn't given up trying to hit that spot, that's for sure.
So with 6 punch outs, 1 walk. And Howie fouls this one back. Went back to the fastball again. Gower with a 1-out walk stands at first. Trumbo on deck. All 5 runs for the Angels coming in the second. Breaking pitch, line to center, making a 3-hit game for Kendrick.
Well, that's a great approach. Again, that's that slider that doesn't quite have the break. It's underneath it. Even though that was down, it goes to the good part of the bat. Howie back up the middle for another hit. Boy, slider, the big thing with that wrist, he does not get on top of the baseball. It flattens out and it becomes a very hittable pitch.
11th three-hit game of the year for Howie Kendrick. Has 102 hits on the season now. And Trumbo with an opportunity here to tack on some runs for the Angels. Pujols standing at second, Kendrick at first. Trumbo 1 for 2, an RBI single in the second, a strikeout on the breaking ball in the third.
Boy, Howie coming into this game hit 361 at home. 3 for 3 will improve that average even more so.
The Angels have hit well here at home. 281 team batting average here. 251 on the road, although the road batting average starting to come up a little bit. 1 ball, 1 strike. 88th pitch of the night for Lynn. Halos overall 4th in the American League with that 267 team batting average. Off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Seth Maness getting ready.
I think right now Trumbo should get a fastball, probably a fastball away. Matheny's done a very good job taking over this Cardinal club after Tony La Russa retired.
2-2 now. Now the 2-2. Fastball got him looking on the outside corner. And the inning comes to an end. 5 complete here at the Big A, and the Angels maintain a 5-1 lead.
Weaver. It's a leadoff. Batter in the 5th with a punch out. Cosma swinging on a curveball. Then Beltran way out in front. Changeup gets 2 punch outs. Weaver's gone through 5 innings, 5 hits allowed. Just 1 earned run for Weaver. No walks, 2 strikeouts, and 78 pitches thrown for Weaver.
He's going to face Craig Adams and Freeze here in the 6th inning for St. Louis. The only 2 strikeouts that Weaver's picked up, both coming in the 5th inning. Alan Craig 1 for 2. Base hit with a run scored in the 4th. So he lays off that pitch. One ball, 1 strike. It's Craig with 18 doubles, a couple of triples. 307 hitter last year with the Cards. 22 home runs, 92 runs batted in. Pulls that one foul way out in front of the off-speed pitch.
Now I'm wondering if Weaver will go high fastball. Last at bat before the base hit by Craig. You got him to chase a high fastball. Gets him set up after an off-speed pitch, the pitch before.
Swing and a miss on the breaking pitch. Down goes Craig. 1 away.
A sharp slider. Good break to that slider. Boy, Weaver's used all his pitches during the course of this 5 1/3 so far. Slider grip, slider rotation. He's got his 3 strikeouts, 1 on a curveball, 1 on a slider, 1 on the changeup.
Adams looks at a breaking ball for a strike. Got a pitch on the inside part of the plate in the 4th inning and rifled it down the right field line for a double. 0-2.
Look at the differential in speeds. Pitch before, 71-mile-an-hour curveball, 87-mile-an-hour fastball there. So he's thrown curveball, fastball, slider in this sequence. I wonder if he'll try a changeup away. Use all of his pitches here.
Called strike 3. There's that two-seam fastball. Delayed call by Todd Tichenor, and Adams didn't like it. 2 outs.
When we talked about the different grips, you had a 4-seam fastball, the conventional one for Weaver, the 2-seam / no-seam. You can see those fingers on leather only. Change-up grip, curveball, what we saw in this sequence against Adams, and his slider also. All these pitches very effective. All are out pitches for Weaver. Not many pitchers can have 5 out pitches. Weaver definitely has that.
David Freese 1 for 2 with a single and an RBI ground out. 28th run batted in.
Great changeup.
One ball, 2 strikes. It's a Cardinals team that has hit .287 this year against right-handed pitching. .238 against lefties. Foul back. Now remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Jared tried to get an easy 1-2-3 inning for him. It has eluded him tonight. He's had a couple of 4-batter innings. Two balls, 2 strikes. 91 pitches now for Weaver. 59 have been strikes. 4 punch outs, no walks. 5 hits allowed. This one's looped in the air down the line, and that is going to fall in for a hit. Shuck over to cut it off. Freese rounds first. He's going to try to go to second. Relays cut off, and a throw is not in time. So it's a double for David Freese. I'm wondering how much Eric Ibar had to cut that ball off.
Yep, that throw looked pretty accurate right at the base. Ibar wasn't quite sure that was going to have enough on it to be able to get there and get Freese. Shuck cut that ball off well. When you cut it off, slight time differential allowed Freese to be able to dive in and just get his hand in before Howie applies the tag.
Yeah.
11th double. Second hit of the game for Freese.
He wasn't fully committed to going to second base either.
No, it looked like he was going around initially thinking it was going to be a double. When Shuck cut it off, then he was caught in between going and not going into scoring position. With 2 outs, you always try to take that extra base.
John Jay, the batter. He rolled into a double play in the second inning, was hit by a pitch in the 4th. 0 for 1 tonight. Two balls and no strikes. Third time tonight that Weaver's gotten the first 2 batters out to start an inning and has allowed a hit. Halos with 5 in a second. Cardinals with 1 in the 4th. 2-1.
Boy, Jay thinking he's going to get a fastball 2-0 count. Instead got a changeup from Weaver.
Back-to-back changeups now. Evens the count up.
One thing about Weaver, he's not afraid to go back-to-back changeups. If he feels comfortable with that pitch and he sees a hitter out in front, as long as you keep it down, it should be an effective pitch.
And he went around on the high fastball. Down he goes. The inning comes to an end. 5 strikeouts of the night for Weaver. The Angels still on top 5-1.
Price is right. David Price, 7 shutout innings as a return for the Rays, and Homer Bailey throws another no-no. Back-to-back seasons.
Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career.
Congratulations to Homer Bailey and the Cincinnati Reds.
How about a pitcher named Homer with back-to-back seasons of a no-hitter?
Getting it done at home.
Yes, he is a homer.
Yes, he is.
He's very good at home.
Kayas, Wyatt, and Ibar. That's 7, 8, 9 for the Angels here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-1 Angels. Lance Lynn has thrown the ball much better over the last 3 innings. Kayas with a little tapper toward the mound. Lynn looked like he slipped a little bit. Kayas was thrown out.
Yeah, he's looking at the turf. Brass little movement when he went to field the baseball.
First down is in the books here to start the 6th inning. Up steps Iannetta, who's 0 for 2 tonight. A pop up in foul territory to the first baseman Adams, and a strikeout in the 4th. 94 pitches for Lynn. There's action going in the Cardinals bullpen now. Choate the lefty, Blazek the righty. Fouled back. Well, that got Yanni pretty good.
Molina has played a lot of games for this Cardinal club too, dealing with a lot of heat there in St. Louis over the years. That one got him square right on the mask. Got the hockey mask working.
5-time Gold Glover, 2-time Platinum Glove winner. Best defensive player at any position.
I would not have a problem saying that's definitely the right call.
I think he wins at dinner when he drops the platinum.
Yeah. Yes.
I never knew there was such a thing.
Yeah, neither did I. But hey, as good as he is, he deserves it.
It's like a speakeasy. We don't talk about that. We don't know what you're talking about.
He doesn't move at all behind the plate. He's so quiet.
Yep.
So as a hitter, a lot of times when a catcher makes a lot of movement, you know, at least know location of the pitch. I mean, he has 47 career pickoffs. That's how strong his arm is. So even if you're trying to get a secondary lead at first base, better not get too far off that bag.
Iannetta pulls one down the line, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two on the way. Out back on that fastball.
A couple good swings in this sequence for Iannetta against Lynn. When you see a batter hit and foul straight back some fastballs against you, got to believe Lynn's thinking in terms, I better try a slider here now.
Ibar is on deck. 1 out here in the 6th.
That spinning slider once again.
Full count now. We had quite a few of those early on.
6 of them in the game for Lynn, especially early on.
Three-two pitch. Iannetta strikes out swinging. 2 outs. Hey, swing for the fences with a new Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. Available on iPhone and iPad. You can download it for free today. Most pitches Lynn has thrown in a game this year, 124. That was back on May 13th against the Mets. And he settles in to just over 100 for the most part. Ibar dropping a bunt foul on the third base side.
He's a strong pitcher, though, so you would think in terms of he'd be able to go 115 to 125 pitches in a game.
National League style of play, though, with the double switches and changes quickly.
Well, you see not as many decisions for National League pitchers as compared to American League pitchers.
0-2. Eric had an RBI single in the second, lined out softly in the fourth inning to Matt Carpenter. Cardinals in the seventh will have 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Descalso, Cosma, and Carpenter. Jared Weaver will be coming back out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 9 hits for the Angels tonight. 6 of which occurred in the second inning. They scored 5 runs. All 9 hits tonight, all singles. Two and two. Shelby Miller will go for the Cards tomorrow. Jerome Williams going for the Angels. And it's Adam Wainwright, Joe Blanton on 4th of July. Fireworks galore.
Real tough pitchers.
This one pulled foul.
Wainwright has signed an extension to remain a Cardinal for a number of years. See the mentor of this young staff right now.
Full count. JB Shuck on deck.
Could be the last batter here for Lynn. If he walks, Ibar gives up a base hit.
Payoff pitch. Ibar drives one out toward left center field. It's playable though for John Jay. Moves over. 1-2-3 inning for Lynn. Second time tonight that he has done that. 6 in the books here at the Big A 5-1 Angels. It's on top of the score of 5-1. Jared Weaver back to work. 97 pitches thrown by the right-hander. 5 punch-outs, no walks, 6 hits. Gave up a run in the 4th inning on the RBI ground out by David Freese. He'll face Descalso, Cosma, Carpenter. 8, 9, and 1 for the Cards here in the 7th inning. Daniel Descalso, the third baseman, 0 for 2. He's popped to third and he rolled into a fielder's choice that ended the 4th inning.
Boy, Weaver would love to have a nice, quick, clean inning here in the 7th. Pitch count getting up there. Next pitch will be pitch number 100. Weaver last game had 102 pitches thrown.
Off speed, fouled back. 1-2.
.65 strikes of the 100 pitches thrown for Weaver tonight.
Fouled off to the left. 1-2 still. Here's the 1-2. This one's out toward left center field. Not hit very deep. Ibar's going out. He's got the call and the catch. 1 away.
Nice job right away. Threw up the glove to be able to make that play for Eric Ibar.
Famed car customizer Ryan Friedlinghaus and his crew at West Coast Customs continue to take common vehicles from ordinary to extraordinary in West Coast Customs. Each episode brings viewers inside one of the most dynamic car shops in the world. Don't miss a new episode this Sunday.
I'm looking forward to that.
This one out to the alley at right center field. Hamilton giving chase, and he tracks it down for out number 2.
Great read, and that's not an easy play because that baseball was right in that bank of lights for a right fielder trying to track that baseball right away off the bat. It's not an easy thing. There's great wheels and coverage that Hamilton has in right field, able to track down that second out.
Two outs, nobody on for Matt Carpenter, the second baseman. Carpenter 1 for 3. Had a double back into third. Action continuing in the Cardinals bullpen, so Lance Lynn's night may be done as this one's in the air to center. Not very deep. Trout comes in, and Jared Weaver, perhaps in his last inning for the first time tonight, has a 1-2-3 frame. 7th inning stretch time. The Angels still on top. At 1-800-PICK-ATT, rethink possible. By CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax, start here. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Bottom of the 7th here at the Big A. The Angels up by the score of 5-1. Lance Lynn done after 109 pitches, 6 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs, all earned, and they all occurred in that second inning. 8 strikeouts and 1 walk. Just one of those innings that just kind of continued to roll against Lynn and just couldn't control it. And the Angels ended up scoring 5 times. It's our in and out, who's in, who is out. Lynn is done, and Michael Blazek takes over on the mound to face the top of the order for the Angels here in the 7th.
He's got an inning at third so far with 2 punch outs in 2 games. Fastball command, very good so far. His big league career, runs it up there in the low 90s. Curveball, slider, changeup.
Las Vegas native, 35th round pick in 2007. First taste of big league life this year. Most of the season last year at Double-A. Here's J.B. Shuck. First pitch swinging. Skies went out to center. John Jay is there. So it moves over to his right. 1 out. Shuck 2 for 4 tonight with that fly out. A couple of singles and an RBI. And Mike Trout will step in. Hit this tonight. Robert Jepson getting ready. 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Cardinals in the 8th. Jared Weaver, 7 solid innings tonight. 5 strikeouts, no walks.
I mean, the important thing, just a couple of games ago, we're talking about how many pitches that Weaver had thrown in his 90 plus against the Pirates. Only 15 were 88 or above. Today, 31 fastballs were 88 and above. 3 in the 90s. So we talked about that going to come around for him at some point. And it certainly did that tonight. Smile on his face, very happy with his fastball. All his pitches are much better when he has command of his fastball and velocity behind it.
Two balls and a strike on Trout. 0 for 3. Did pick up an RBI in the second. Bouncer to short. Cosmo to the backhand has it. 2 outs. We really haven't seen many ground balls tonight. As a matter of fact, 1, 2 on a double play. 4 is what I count. Everything else either a strikeout or in the air.
And none of those ground balls found holes,
yeah,
for the Angels, and especially in that second inning against Lynn.
Albert swings through the high fastball. 0-1 count. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of punch outs and a walk.
Blazek's got a pretty good fastball.
Yeah.
He's got a nasty curveball too, and his slider.
Yeah, he's living up to the name. 0-2 count.
Yeah, just rushed back up there with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball back to back. He's throwing 3 97-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Hit the air, shallow right field toward the foul line. Adams, Carpenter, and Beltran, and Adams, the first baseman, can't come up with it.
Adams going back trying to look for some help. Will it make the play on that pop-up from Pujols? Goes back, an opportunity to swing once again.
Howard just got a piece of the breaking ball.
Well, this bullpen's done a nice job for the Cardinals, considering Jason Mott has been out the entire season. Their closer.
Mojica's done a nice job stepping in for Mott.
Another power arm down there. Rosenthal throws the ball extremely hard. So they have a number of big-time arms.
Broken bat bouncer over to third. Descalso across the diamond. And Blazek has himself a 1-2-3-7. We will head to the 8th with the Angels on top, 5-1.
Gets jammed, but strong enough to get a base hit in the outfield. Scores Hamilton. And Callaspo, a ground ball between short and third, drives in Howie Kendrick. Ibar continues to swing the bat well. Scores Trumbo, part of a 5-run second inning. And Jerry Weaver has made that hold up. A good fastball command throughout. 5 punch-outs in the game for Weaver. 7 very solid innings for him.
Jared Weaver done after 7 innings, 6 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks, 1 run. It was earned. 105 pitches for him. Mike Scioscia's gone to the bullpen as Weave heads down to the clubhouse. Kevin Jepson takes over on the mound. And here in the 8th inning, he'll face Molina, Beltran, and Craig.
Good sign to see Weaver go back-to-back 7-inning performances.
Yep. The Angels do have a new outfielder. It's a left fielder, Colin Cowgill, who was called up before the game today as Peter Borges was placed on the 15-day disabled list. Cowgill takes over in left for J.B. Shuck.
Certainly a guy with a lot of coverage in that left field position. Very aggressive outfielder.
Molina, tardy on the fastball. Fouls it off to the right. It's an 0-1 count. There's Peter, placed on the 15-day disabled list. Non-displaced fracture of that right wrist area. They're estimating 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, talking to him just the other day in Houston with 3 off days, and then you have the 4 off days for the All-Star break. Won't miss as many games trying to come back from that fractured wrist.
0-2 count on Molina, who's 1 for 3 tonight. Had a base hit in the 5th. Jepson pitched on Sunday, went inning in that one. 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 1 walk for him. Able to count now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, it's not at times it seems that Kevin tries to be too perfect with whether it's his cut fastball or slider. Got ahead of the count 0-2. Don't overthrow.
This is line to center, a base hit. Leadoff man is on board for the St. Louis Cardinals for the first time tonight. And that'll bring up Carlos Beltran. We'll go back and revisit our AT&T Twitter poll question of the series. Your favorite World Series Game 6 home run. Scott Spezio's 2002 currently leading the pack at 47% of the vote. Not surprising.
Huge.
If it's
huge
Angel-centric anyway.
Yes, indeed. What a comeback that game.
0-1 count on Beltran.
Well, getting back to that base hit from Molina. Now Molina's looking fastball at that point because the cut fastball and slider well off the plate. And there's a reason why he was coming in this game at 345. So he's recognized looking for a fastball at that point and served that ball into center field.
0-2. Back-to-back hitters he's gotten ahead at 0-2. Beltran with a fly to right. Ground ball to first and a strikeout. Molina over at first with nobody out here in the 8th. Scott Downs starting to play some catch. Dane De La Rosa as well for the Angels. Chopper off the plate. Going to be a tough play. Kendrick doesn't have one. Infield base hit. So the first 2 have reached for the Cardinals here in the 8th.
One of those spots too as an infielder you're really at no chance at this point. All you can hope for is Molina rounds second base and goes beyond it. Molina stays right there knowing there's no play at first base.
Downs on the left, De La Rosa on the right. They were just talking about Jepson, and they can't throw the breaking pitch for a strike. To be able to show hitters another pitch off the fastball just makes it that much more difficult, regardless of how hard you're throwing.
And even if you locate it perfectly like he can do at times with his fastball at 96, 97, they're just gearing for the hard stuff.
Two on, nobody out. Alan Craig the batter. Left fielder tonight, 1 for 3. Singleton scored in the 4th.
Very difficult hitter, but a guy that will hit into a double play. He's hit into 9. This Cardinal club itself leads the National League as far as grounding into double plays.
One ball, one strike. Good dig out of the dirt too by Iannetta. Not a whole lot of speed on the bases with Molina at second and Beltran at first base. The 2 hits in this inning now has given the Cardinals 8 on the night. One in the air, foul, and out of play on the first base side. One, 2 on the way. Lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
All right, cut fastball almost got Craig to swing at. Now Craig is going to be looking fastball. Hopefully Kevin Jepson get a ground ball at an infielder here to be able to turn 2 with that fastball.
Got to reach for that one. Count remains still at 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pattern that Kevin kind of falls into at times. Everything is away, away, away on right-handed batters. And if you got that movement with that cut fastball, why not try the front door fastball on a right-handed batter?
It would definitely freeze them.
At least give you something else to think about.
Because they can just look away, away, away. There's no concern of a fastball in at you.
Fouled back. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And what I mean by that, if the hitter's comfortable enough to look away against you, even if you're throwing as hard as Jepson is throwing, well, then he doesn't have that fear of a fastball inside, so he can dive out over the plate.
That's pulled into left field. A base hit. 3 straight hits. Calgo gets the baseball back in. And again with another fastball right over the heart of the plate. The bases are loaded with nobody out here in the 8th inning. Jepson is not retired a batter, and Mike Scioscia has seen enough. But Matt Adams coming up, left-hand hitting first baseman. It'll be Scott Downs coming into the ball game as the Angels maintain a 5-1 lead, but Cardinals threatening here in the 8th. And face 3 batters, and they are on base. So Scott Downs will have to deal with that. I want to remind you that one of the most affordable ways to see the Halos is with the Family Fun Pack. This pack includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas for only
$44.
$44. Fun packs are available every game while supplies last. To purchase your tickets, visit the Angel Stadium ticket office or log on at angels.com/funpack. That's Scott Downs on in relief. Matt Adams is going to be the batter, the left-hand hitting first baseman. 35th game for Scott, 1-2, marking a 1.61 ERA.
And one thing about Scott Downs, he does get a lot of ground balls, and that's what his goal is right now, to get a ground ball. Hopefully he can get 2 outs with it, prevent the Cardinals from having a big inning here.
Molina at third base, Beltran at second, Craig at first. Infield back at double play depth. All 3 of these guys belong to Jepson. One and 0. Adams 1 for 3 tonight. Had a double back in the 4th inning. Downs last pitched Thursday against the Tigers. Went 1/3 of an inning in that one. Also pitched in the previous game on Wednesday, going an inning and a 1/3. One ball, 1 strike.
If you're at home, you're thinking Mike Matheny leaves Adams in against a left-handed pitcher, but hitting .385 against lefties.
One down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Adams has a little Jason Giambi look to him at the plate.
A big, strong left-handed hitter that doesn't seem to bail out against left-handed pitching.
No place to put him with nobody out here in the 8th. 2-1. Swing and a miss underneath the hands again. 2-2. De La Rosa's ready to go in the bullpen. A right-handed batter, David Freese, on deck. And a lefty in John Jay. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Adam. Locked him up with that fastball in. 1 out.
Well, what a job in that sequence by Scott Downs against Matt Adams. Stayed underneath the hands all the way through the entire at bat. With the bases loaded, a gutsy pitch to go inside, because if you hit him, it forces in a run. He's very confident going inside against Adams to get to swing and miss. A big out.
Here's David Freese. DH tonight. 2 for 3. Single, a double, and an RBI ground out. 1 ball, no strikes. Cardinals with a run on 9 hits, 1 error. They've left 6 on base. The Angels 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. The Angels have stranded 4 base runners. Lance Lynn gave up 5 runs in 6 innings on 9 hits. Jared Weaver 1 run in 7 innings of work. Kevin Jepsen faced 3 batters, and this is the second batter for Downs as Freese swings through that one to even the count. .238 batting average this season against left-handed pitching. Two and 1.
Boy, Freese is well off the plate. So that means he's diving into the plate looking for something on the inner half. He does have tremendous power to center field, to right center field also. But well off the plate and then dives to be able to have plate coverage.
Hamilton not playing very deep in right field. Trout straight up in center. Cowgill the same in left. Infield looking for that double play ball. Freese has hit into 9 of them this year. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Downs finally likes the sign that he got from Iannetta. Now the 2-2. Bouncer. And a glove save and a beauty by Trumbo. Fires the second for 1. Relay to first in time. Wow, what a double play started by Mark Trumbo.
Spectacular, potentially game-saving play by Trumbo. The most difficult double play to turn. 3-6-1 double play. Outstanding by Trumbo.
The inning-ending double play.
An exceptional play. That is an absolute rocket from Freese. Dives, perfect throw to Ibar. And Scott Downs covers the base. He did it absolutely perfectly. You get to the base and then you stretch out. So often you see a pitcher run to the base and then it cannot get the footwork down as he's stretching out. Scott Downs got there quickly to the base and reacts. Unbelievable 3-6-1 double play to get through the inning. No runs allowed by the Halos.
Kevin Jepsen owes Scott Downs a nice dinner out on the road when we head to Chicago. First 3 batters reaching in the inning. Downs got a strike out of Adams and then that double play ball.
Textbook all the way around. Kevin Jepsen's going, thank you, Scott. I appreciate that.
Gibson's Steakhouse in Chicago.
Yes.
Monday night when we arrive.
Yeah, it's on me.
It'll be Hamilton, Kendrick, and Trumbo here to face Edwin Mujica. First one is outside. Mujica taking over for Blazek.
Yeah, we talked about it in the pregame hit to be able to talk about why this team has played so well on that past road trip. But yeah, the offense and pitching, but the defense during that course of that 6-game stretch on the road, some outstanding game-saving plays. Well, that one there by Mark Trumbo certainly ranks up with the plays we saw on that road trip. Josh Hamilton made a number of them. So it's not always just with the pitcher and the hitters, it's the glove. The glove has turned around for the Angels here during this solid stretch.
Hamilton bounces that one foul. It's a 1-2 count on Josh. 1 for 3 tonight. Had a single with a run scored in the second. And struck out, hit a fly ball to left in his other 2 plate appearances. Blazek, by the way, pitched the 7th and had a 1-2-3 inning with a fly ball out, 2 groundouts. Bouncer over to first. Adams is there. Takes it himself. 1 out. 8 in a row retired by Cardinals pitching since a single by Kendrick in the 5th. Take a look at the Subway in-game box score. 2 hits for Jamie Shuck, no longer in the game. Howie Kendricks had a 3-hit game.
When they mixed and matched to be able to score 5 runs in the second with 6 base hits, all singles throughout this entire game for the Halos. But it still counts. You can bunch them together against a very good pitcher in Lance Lynn to start with.
Howie lays off, and it's a strike. Doesn't like the call by Todd Titchener, the home plate umpire. 3 for 3 tonight. The 11th time this year he's had a 3-hit game. Mojica is pitching in his 33rd game this year. That's how he fouls it off. 21 saves on the year. 28 punch-outs, 2 walks in 32 and 2/3 innings.
That's amazing control.
Ball and 2 strikes. Trumbo's on deck. Swing and a miss. 2 down.
He's got a nasty splitter, and that's where he throws a lot of. Majority of his pitches are split finger fastballs. He's got a good fastball, 90 to 94, not overpowering, but his nasty split is his out pitch.
Mojica's been around. Came up with Cleveland, pitched with the Padres, the Marlins. Cardinals acquired him in a trade back in 2011. 2 outs, nobody on for Mark Trumbo. 1 for 3 game for him. That one's just a bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Stick around after the game. Michael Leaves and Jose Mota will break it all down with Angels Live post game presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers. One ball, 1 strike.
Well, that was a great reaction when Mark Trumbo got back into the dugout by his teammates, high-fiving, realizing the significance of that play he made to finish off the top of the 8th.
One, 2 to Mark, and he chases that pitch. And Mojica has himself a 1-2-3 8th. We will head to the 9th. Bottom 3rd of the order coming up for the Cardinals with the Angels on top. Went 1 inning, had a strikeout and a huge double play ball to get out of that bases loaded, no out situation that the Angels were in the 8th inning. 36th game for Dane. 3-1 mark at 3.16 ERA. He last pitched on Saturday, went 1 inning, had a couple of punch outs against the Stros.
Well, he's had a real good fastball of late too, 93 to 96. Great changeup, curveball, slider.
He'll face 7, 8, 9 here in the 9th inning for the Cardinals. Jay, Descalso, and Cosmo, barring any pinch hitters by Mike Matheny. John Jay 0 for 2 today, was hit by a pitch in the 4th. Hayaspo in over at 3rd base. One and 1. Bouncer towards second. Howie's going to have to hurry. Backhands it, gets rid of it quickly. 1 out.
Good job of getting your body under control from Howie Kendrick on a tough little slow roller. Use the backhand, maintain balance. Perfect throw. Get the first out here of the 9th.
Daniel Descalso, the third baseman, is 0 for 3. Looks at a strike. This one in the air to left. Calgill is there. 2 outs. So the Halos 1 out away from making it 7 in a row. Taking the first one against the St. Louis Cardinals tonight.
The Phoenix Club plays excellent baseball on the road, so certainly a big opportunity to be able to pull off this first victory at home for the Angels against the Cardinals. In this game, the Cardinals 27-16 on the road.
Check swing foul. 0-1 count. Cosma, the shortstop, 0 for 3 tonight. De La Rosa trying to close it out for Jared Weaver. Breaking pitch, that is in there.
That was a buckler.
Jared will be picking up his second win of the season. See the curveball on De La Rosa. More importantly, it'd be his 104th career victory. That would match his brother's career win total. Swing and a miss. Light that baby up as the Angels take game 1 against the Cardinals by the final of 5-1.
Well, old-fashioned Angel baseball to win this one. Great defense, solid pitching, and timely hitting, aggressive base running. Produces 5 runs in the second, but it's the defense that saved the game. Mark Trumbo's play, outstanding 3-6-1 double play. Great job by Scott Downs coming out of the bullpen and preventing any damage. With coming in with bases loaded, no outs. Jared Weaver is back. Back-to-back 7 innings pitched. Today, 7 innings, just 1 earned run allowed, 5 punch-outs, no walks, 31 pitches, 88 or above as far as miles per hour in his 105 pitches. That fastball's coming back for Weaver.
Scott Downs did a terrific job in that 8th inning. Mark Trumbo, a fantastic defensive play, perhaps a game saver for the Angels to start that double play. And then Dane De La Rosa with a 1-2-3 exclamation point strikeout to finish this one off. The Angels got 5 in the second, and they made it stand up. Howie Kendrick, yet another 3 hits for him. He continues to flat out rake. He's down on the field right now with our own Jamie Maggio.
Victor, thank you. That's right. 3 hits for Howie Kendrick tonight. You hit 356 in the month of June, and really that hot streak started in mid-May for you, Howie. Do you find that pitchers are trying to look for different ways to get you out now?
I don't really think about what they're trying to do. I just try to go out and play the game and, see what happens that day. If they make a mistake and I get a hit off of it, I'm really happy. But I think the biggest thing is just trying to be on base and try to score runs and try to get wins.
7 straight wins for the Angels. Is the team playing as well right now as they were during that 8-game win streak at the end of May?
We've been playing good baseball. The pitching's been really good. We've been getting a lot of guys out, getting out of some jams and, giving us the opportunity to win games. So, we've been putting runs up and we've been getting wins. You
mentioned the pitching. Jared Weaver, 2 back-to-back strong outings for him. How much does that lend to the positive outlook of this team right now?
Jared's the ace of our staff. And, when he's going out doing stuff like that, the guy's a bulldog. And, you love to see him go out, get guys out like that. And, it makes good for everybody on the staff. The other guys try to feed off of that. And, hopefully it'll continue to roll like the way we've been playing.
Thank you very much, Howie.
All right, thanks.
All right, Angels top the Cardinals here in Anaheim, 5-1, the final score. Stick around, everyone. Angels Live's coming up with Michael Eaves and Jose Mota.